Hey guys, it's Miss Josette, and I am here with this week's Kids Club message. And I was thinking about Pastor Tim talking about the apostles last week, and I was thinking about what we had talked about with the teens about the apostles and the disciples. And it got me thinking about fishing. So, do you guys like going fishing? Now, I have gone fishing quite a few times now, and it's something that I kind of like. I like catching fish, I like the quietness of it, but sometimes it's really hard because it takes a long time, and sometimes it gets kind of boring, and if you're not catching anything, then it's really kind of annoying. But I remember the couple times of being able to fish with Ashley and some of the other kids when we've been at the retreat and being trying to be patient. And I remember a time when I was younger saying like, do we know when we're going to catch something? Do you know like how much longer it's going to be? Oh wait, that wasn't younger. That was just last year's retreat. Thinking, how much longer is it going to be? When am I going to catch something? You know, and because when if you don't catch anything, it doesn't always seem like a good time to just stand there forever. But that made me think about Jesus and a group of fishermen. And it made me think about Jesus standing by the Sea of Galilee and the story in the Bible about Jesus standing with a fishing experience by the Sea of Galilee. There was a large crowd of people that had started to gather around Jesus, and he saw some fishermen who were cleaning and mending their nets. So he climbed inside one of their boats. And he asked one of the men, whose name happened to be Peter, to put the boat out a little way from shore so that he could be able to get away from the crowd but still teach them. And after Jesus had finished teaching, he told Peter to put the boat out a little bit further into the deep water and let his nets down to catch some fish. Peter was really frustrated because before Jesus was teaching, he had been fishing all day. As a matter of fact, Peter had been having some trouble for a while, and they'd been fishing all day and all night and hadn't caught a thing. But Peter said to Jesus, all right, if you say so, we'll fish one more time. I'll let my nets down again. But he probably had one of those attitudes of like, I'll let my net down again, but nothing's going to happen. But something did happen. An amazing thing happened. When they pulled the nets up, there were so many fish in the nets that they began to break. And as they pulled the fish into the boat, there were so many fish that the boat started to sink. And when the Peter and the fellow fishermen saw this, they were like astonished. And they were even maybe a little bit afraid. But Jesus said, don't be afraid, because from now on, you're going to fish for people. You see, the Bible tells us that they pulled their nets up into the boat and they pulled the boats up into shore. And those gentlemen left everything and started to follow Jesus. And from that day on, Peter and his friends fished for people for God's kingdom. Jesus wants us to be fishermen too. Not necessarily with a rod and a pole, and not necessarily that he wants us to go out with a pole and go out or even with nets and go out and catch actual fish. Jesus wants us to be fishermen of men. And what do you think that means? It means he wants us to tell people about having faith in him. And he wants us to tell people about his love and that we can trust Jesus to bring in everything. And we can trust Jesus. We can trust Jesus in times of stress. We can trust Jesus in times of trouble. And he has asked us to go out and be fishers of men. He's asked us to go out and share the gospel with other people. So when next time you decide you want to go fishing, think about that time with Jesus as you're putting your worm or your bait or whatever kind of bait it is you use on the hook. Think about those gentlemen with Jesus and how when Jesus told them to go back out and cast their nets again, even when they hadn't had a great day, they ended up with an amazing catch, but an even better job. They ended up being fishers of men for Jesus, and by being fishers of men, they were the disciples, the first of the disciples that followed Christ and did what he asked them to do. They went out and shared about this amazing man who had come to give his life for us. Now, at this first point, the disciples didn't know exactly what all Jesus was doing, but he was an amazing man who was there teaching them and knew about God. But we know the end of the story. We know exactly what Jesus did. We know a little bit more than the disciples did because we know the end of the story. We are ready to go out and be full fishers of men and share with people and share with others what God has called for us to do. We are asked to tell people, go tell the world. That's what he wants us to do. He wants us as his disciples, as his children, to go tell the world about him. Tell them about his love. Tell them about his faithfulness. Tell them about what he has promised to do for us, because the time is drawing near for his return, his second coming. We talked about that a little bit at Advent at Christmas, that Advent now is we are waiting for his second coming. But Jesus is coming again, and he's coming to take those who believe in him and coming to take us to heaven. And boys and girls and grown-ups alike, it is an urgent time that if you don't have Jesus in your heart, that you listen to that knock on your heart's door and you listen to God's cry for you, because the time is now to be able to follow him and be one of his fishers of men and to be able to be a follower of Jesus. Thanks, guys, for listening. And I hope that you've had a great week. And I hope that you can go out with some faith like Peter and be able to put your nets back out into the waters as Jesus has instructed us to do. Talk to you later. Bye.